God, when will this fucking end? Welcome back to another day in paradise. And by paradise, I mean this mess. And today is either going to be smooth and easy and beautiful, or it's going to be absolute chaos. And having had a little look around this morning, I think chaos is the order of the day. Also, I broke my little microphone, so I haven't got my little emotional support microphone today. I need to buy a new one. But today, the main job in here is to strip the wallpaper. So obviously, we've got no bloody walls there, so no stripping there, which is great. But all the pink and purple you can see in this room is wallpaper that needs to go. I'm pretty confident it's just one layer of wallpaper, I'm pretty sure. So I think on some of the walls, it will come off quite easily. I'm not too worried about getting it off. I have done a lot of wallpaper stripping in my time. I've stripped 5 layers on top of each other for hours and hours and hours. So in here, I'm like feeling pretty cool about it. I'm like, it'll be fine, it'll be easy. I'll be done in like a couple of hours. I'll be done by lunchtime, no problem. The main problem, I think, may be these areas where the wallpaper isn't just the wallpaper is the wall. So taking off this wallpaper here, for example, I mean, that's not, you see that? That's not taking off wallpaper, that is, oh my God, that's taking off wall. So, got that to look forward to. So these are the problem areas that I'm concerned about. Because I just think, as soon as you start pulling one bit, the rest of the plaster or the cement or whatever is on the wall there starts coming off, and then before you know it, you've taken all the plaster off, you're back to brick and you've got bags of rubble again. Not just bags of like paper and wallpaper and little light bits that come off the wall. So I'm a bit worried about that. Wish me luck. I will be taking you through the whole process, of course, in this vlog, and I'll let you know everything I'm using, all the products I'm using, the easy methods to get wallpaper off if you're doing the same, because I know how much of a bitch it can be. It is the most annoying job in the world sometimes. It can be so lovely and easy. You just go, oh, I'll whip it off in one. But it also can be the worst. It can be the absolute worst, getting every little sheet of paper off, every little corner, every little bit of glue. Sometimes it really stays on there and the walls go all sticky and bleh, horrible. I hate it. Hopefully that isn't the situation in this room. And then obviously we've got next door as well. So in the spare room, I love just walking through there, like it's so easy, just whoop. Maybe I should put a secret door in the design so we can just like go in and out that way rather than the long way round. But in the spare room, so this is where we got to last weekend, as you saw, and I haven't actually been in here since last weekend, so I'm like, oh yeah, it's still a fucking mess. So nothing to do there, thank God. The wall is gone. This bit down here is all plasterboard. There's a radiator on the other side, so we're not dealing with that yet until obviously we take all the radiators off, because we've still got one out there and 2 in our room. So they are yet to be dealt with. And when we get to those, that plasterboard will just pop off nice and easily, we pray. So yes, in this room, even fewer walls to strip of wallpaper, only this, and obviously behind me here. But I do think the state of affairs in here is a lot worse. I think it will come off quite easily in some places. Like here, you can see it's just peeling off back to plaster quite nicely. So I think this will be okay. But then obviously, ooh, it's not very stable over in this corner, so that's an issue. Some of that might come off with the wallpaper. Got the radiator there, so I can't take the wallpaper off behind there yet because that needs to be taken out. And then I think that will be fine. Oh, but then we get to here, then we get to the horrible bit, and just like this is no longer wallpaper, this is just crumbling wall. So yeah, that's going to be a fun one. I'm not looking forward to that. I'm not going to start with that because I want to start with like the bit that fills me with like hope of like, the wallpaper comes off quite easily. So I think I'm going to start over in the main bedroom over in that corner and work my way around to like the hellscape of the fireplaces and the horrible bit. I'm planning the day based on how optimistic I want to feel about the day. Start with the good and then get to the worst when I'm in it, rather than start with the bad and go, God, when will this fucking end? That is the plan of attack for today. And also, back through the cubby hole, in here, the ceiling in here, that fan is going today. Thank God. I can't wait to never have to look at that again. Hideous! Ceiling fans are just so like 80s, and they have no place in a British house, let alone a British bedroom. That is my opinion. It never gets warm enough for that. And when it does, you just get a plug-in fan that goes away for a few months. I don't need one permanently on my ceiling. You're out here. You're done. You're done, mate. Anyway, the ceiling in here just looks plain white, but it is actually lining papered. You can see, where can I show you a join? I started peeling off a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, a little bit up there. I started peeling a little bit off up there. So it is paper. So what I'm going to do is obviously get the steamer going, do the rest of the room. Hopefully all the steam will rise and like sort of put some moisture in the paper on the ceiling, and hopefully that will peel off in nice long strips and won't be a problem to get down at all. Let's see. Let's wait and see on that one. I'm not feeling too confident that that's going to be easy. I'm going to have to be up a ladder all day, arms above the head, scrape, scrape, scrape. That's not going to be a fun task. I'm not looking forward to that, but it has to be done because we want to paint the ceiling. There's so much filling to do. There's so many cracks, which I think you've already seen along the coving here. There's so many cracks. So there's a lot of work that ceiling needs. Like just that in itself is like weeks of work. So don't renovate your house, kids. It's not worth it. It's no fun. Anyway, let me get into showing you what I'm going to use today for the wallpaper stripping, my usual kit. And actually, there's not that much involved, and it is a really cheap DIY job. To buy a wallpaper steamer and some scrapers is not really that expensive in the grand scheme of renovating. So let's get into it. So let me talk you through the kit I'm using today. And if you are thinking of stripping wallpaper yourself in any room, there are kind of 3 key things that you need. And these are those. These are what I swear by. All the wallpaper scraping I've done throughout this house, and there has been a lot. These are the things I come back to every time. The first one is a very obvious one, and you'll probably have this already, but if you don't, you need to go get yourself a set of little step ladders. And as you can tell, these are beaten up. These are, I think we got these in our first flat like 10 years ago from Argos. They were baby blue ones. But anyway, they have been through some things, as you can see, but they are so reliable. With wallpaper scraping, you're doing a lot of like stretching up and down. So to save you that stretch and that strain, you want to get yourself up some steps so you can reach the top of the wallpaper and get it down without all of that. Otherwise, you're just going to hurt yourself, hurt your back, hurt your shoulders. You're going to ache by the end of the day. These ones are just 2 steps. So I find that they're good enough to get to like a normal top of wall height. But we have got other ladders in here somewhere just behind me. They've got 6 steps. If you do need to get a bit higher, which obviously for me getting that ceiling paper down is going to be a godsend, if you do need to get higher, bigger steps are the way to go. And obviously safety first. If you're up a ladder, have someone watch you, or make sure there's nothing behind you that you're going to fall into or onto. Next up, God, my hands are so dirty already. And then next up, obviously, is the wallpaper steamer, and she is dusty, but this is just a cheap one that I think I got from B&Q or Screwfix or Amazon or somewhere. It's a McAllister wallpaper steamer. It is one of the cheapest ones you can get, but it is really good, really reliable. She has been through so many rooms with us in this house, the kitchen, the bathroom, the lounge, everywhere. And she's about to be put through her paces in here. And honestly, so good. Unless you're doing a property or something on an industrial scale, you probably don't need one of those really expensive ones. Obviously, they're going to fill up more and save you a bit of time because you have more in the tank. But honestly, for doing a bedroom size space, the price of this, you cannot go wrong. There's a lot of hacks online. I've seen people like spraying the walls before, or doing fancy things, using fancy liquids on the walls to get your wallpaper off. I don't find that really helps. I don't really think it's worth it. I find you just score the paper, get the steamer going, get that pad on there, and it comes off a treat. You really don't need to do more than that. As I said, not too expensive, but very reliable. Would recommend one like this or any like this. There are loads that look the same. It's basically just a kettle. You fill it with water, this water boils, then the steam from that comes through in this pad which you hold against the paper and then scrape off. It's just a different looking kettle, so you don't need anything too fancy or too spenny. Different brands are going to offer you different prices, but I find that this one, which is only around, I think 30 to 40 quid, is really good and really reliable. So recommend her. And then of course, to get that wallpaper off the walls, you're going to need one of these, a heavy duty scraper, or maybe 2. I've got 2. In fact, I think I've got 3. But this one is a little bit broken, so I bought myself a new one. And again, these are just from Amazon. I think this one was from Wix once upon a time. You can get them anywhere. I'll link some stuff below, but they are the dogs. They are absolutely what you need. If you've got thick wallpaper, or to be honest, wallpaper of any kind, I personally feel like this is way more worth it than those like usual like little sort of filling knife flat scrapers you see. The normal scrapers are quite blunt, whereas this is like a razor for your walls essentially. It's going to get under that paper and scrape it off. And these are much wider, as you can see, so that's going to get under more paper. It's going to take more paper off at once. It's going to save you time because you're going to get more paper down at once. It's all worth it. Also, what I love about these is that you can replace, which I need to do on this one, you can unscrew here and you can replace the blades. This blade is chipped, so I need to go down to the shed and get a new blade for that one. But they're not disposable, so you can reuse and reuse and reuse, just put new blades in and the handle is reusable, which is great. You're not just like chucking away blunt filling knives here and there. What is that? Oh, spare blades are in the handle. That is genius. So I am a big fan of these. You will not catch me really using anything else, especially on thick paper like this. So we've got everything we need. I'm going to fill up the wallpaper steamer and we're going to get started. Let's go. So I filled up the steamer. You can hear she's bubbling away. That means nearly ready to get going. So let's get set up and get stripping. So while the steamer is heating up, I like to score the paper. That means all the steam can get in the paper, all through all the scoring, through all the edges, rather than just through the front, you know? So let's get scoring. Just big crosses like that. Anywhere. No precision to this. See how easy that is coming off anyway. Okay, steam is coming through. Let's crack on. So you just hold it on like that, over where you've scored, for a few seconds at a time. Just really let the steam get in there and start to lift that paper up. Now this paper has been on these walls for I don't know how long. Could be Victorian, maybe not, but you know, early century, so not sure how easy this is going to be to get off. Right, let's have a go. And while you're scraping, hold down another bit of wall. Oh, tough. Back on that. Now I've lifted a bit. Yeah. This is not going to be a fun day. Well, I can see this paper has been painted over, so that's what's making it really hard to get under it, because it's basically just pure plastic on top. Why do people do this? Well, this is me for the next 10 hours. Lovely. Oh. My arms are killing already. The walls underneath there are in quite good condition. So obviously they're going to need plastering, but luckily this expansive wall doesn't seem to be crumbling and falling down, which is a nice surprise. I'm finding that once I've got that top layer of purple paint off, the stuff underneath comes off so easily. It's just trapped under like the pink plasticky paint. But imagine doing this with just like the most basic scraper. That is not gonna cut through anything. You need one of these big boys. I am literally gonna be here all fucking day. this is how far I've got after an hour. It's gonna be a long old day. I've just had to refill the steamer, so while that happens I'm gonna have a little drink break. I think my high hopes of getting all of this stripped today, all of this, and in there, and this ceiling, are very unlikely. I think the few hours that I've got is going to be mainly this room, maybe in the spare room. Depends how easily it all comes off around this end. Some of it, like that end of the wall, took ages to come off. Then down here you can see some of it's just ripping off in like bigger pieces. So if we're lucky and we have the same function on these walls, I might speed through it a bit quickly, but I'm not holding my breath, let's be honest. And also this afternoon, I'm meant to go and collect a fireplace I won on eBay, a beautiful cast iron fireplace I won on eBay to go in here to replace, well, what was there, but now nothing. So I've got to go and do that. It's 11 o'clock now, about 3 hours. I've only got 3 hours left really to crack on with this. So let's see how far I get. I'm happy that it's coming off smoothly, there's only one layer, and that the wall underneath is in all right nick. So that just means, obviously it does need plastering, but it's not crumbling to pieces, which is a really good sign. But I just think it's gonna be a long old morning and early afternoon. Anyway. Hours in, you can see how far we've got. Only like a wall and like a half. Honestly, this paper is no joke. And also there are some holes in the wall. The plaster came off with the paper in a few places, but it's not too bad. Absolutely repairable, which is good. And now I've decided to pivot the approach for the next half an hour, maybe a little bit more, because I've got to go out and collect a fireplace soon. So I'm going to crack on with the ceiling, because all the steam in the room has got the ceiling. You can't really see it on camera, but like it's really getting in there. So while it's all like lifting and a bit gooey, I'm going to try and take it down. And actually I've tried a patch already up there, as you can see, and it's coming off. It's kind of flaking off quite well. So I'm going to crack on while I'm ahead and then come back to the wall stuff, because that is going to take so much longer than half an hour. So let's see if we can get this ceiling down in the next 30. All the best. And decided to start taking out bits of skirting board. Well, that was easy. And bricks.
No, it's wood. No brick.
Well done. The fan is finally going. Right, I've never been happier to say goodbye to a light fixture.
Could you pass me thin pliers if you've got them? If you can find them.
Got
Sauces.
So here's where we've got to today. I've just had a sweep up. We got this far. Neil was joined to help. And that's how far I got with the ceiling. That was hard. And that is our Greg's order at the door. I'll get it. Time to eat. Okay. Greg's has arrived. This is our go-to Reno day lunch. Oh my God. Why won't it open? There we go. What are we having today? What are you having for your tea? Oh, that is a glazed donut each. Yum. God, my hands are so filthy. I need to wash these before I eat. And then I think this is Neil's sausage roll. And then we're both trying, I think, the chicken katsu bake. She's new. Let's give her a go. And some fizzy, of course. Anyway, see you after lunch when we're going off to collect a fireplace. Because that is what we've got planned for the day. I'm going to collect the fireplace I bought on eBay. I have put dust sheet down the back of the car so it doesn't wreck it. Wish us luck, it is an hour-and-a-half drive to South London to get it, so she better be nice. Oh, lovely. Thank you. I'll take it. Thank you. Got it. Thanks. Right, 3 hours later, we have secured the bag. We're home with the big fireplace that is like literally just fit in the boot. It's getting a bit dark, so I can't show you in perfect detail, but she's very pretty. So I'll come back once it's daylight and she's inside. Well, good morning. Picking up a week later, back in the bedroom, and you've joined me at an excellent time. Oh, because that dust, Jesus. We are already getting messy in here, as you can see. Continue stripping off wallpaper. Didn't strip off wallpaper, stripped off the wall instead because the wall was just crumbling as you pulled the paper off. I'll probably put some footage in. As you pulled the paper off, the wall just started coming with it. I like to spend ages heating up the steamer and everything, getting ready to just scrape the wallpaper off easily and daintily and in just one neat pile, and instead we've got this situation here. Yeah, fun. So, I mean, what else is there to say? Like, this is the mess that's come off the wall. These are the internal brick walls. So we're a terraced house and those join on with the walls of the people next door. So sorry for scraping plaster off them at 9 AM, everyone. But basically, as the wallpaper is coming off, this plaster, as you can see, is very unstable, and just sort of comes with it. So there's no point in trying to salvage it. So my day of wallpaper stripping has turned into a day of wall stripping. Anyway, let's continue. Also, I've got a brand new mic, brand new pink fluffy mic to use. Very happy about that. Dropped my one last week and broke it. So we're back, but we are pink. Yes. Anyway, so this is what I've got to deal with first. This pile of mess on the floor. I need to scrape that up so I can get a ladder in there. So I can get the top off right up to the cove and get all that old plaster off. It's original Victorian plaster. So you can see, I'll show you. Yeah, you can see the white like skim on top and you can see the grey original Victorian plaster underneath. So she's been there for 130 odd years. But now she's coming down because she is no longer stable. She's crumbling. There's no way I could put new plaster, paint, wardrobes in front of that. It would just be an absolute fucking riot in that corner. So we're not doing that. Hence why we're going back to brick, get everything off, start afresh. Always better to start afresh than try and patch up stuff that's like a lost cause. There's no point. There's no point. And then in the spare room, I didn't really get around to anything last weekend in here. We've still got a lot to do. We've got all this wallpaper to strip, which is just like hanging over me. So much more to do. But this is what renovations are like. They take time. Every little job takes hours and hours and hours. I've only got my Saturdays to do it. So, you know, we're doing what we can. We're doing what we can when we can. And also last Saturday, I did like as much as I could of wallpaper stripping and reno stuff, but then we had to go and collect the fireplace from the posh person's house in Wandsworth. Thank you, rich people. Thank you for your services. Thank you for chucking out your Victorian fireplaces so people like me can go and lift them for a bargain price. That's what we need more of. Blessings. Last weekend was derailed with the fireplace collection. It was a 3-hour round trip. 3 hours. It took us an hour and a half to get there, an hour and a half back. Considering it was only in Wandsworth, which is in London, that's the north-south divide for you. It took time, and it was on Saturday. Weekend traffic, not ideal. But hey, needs must. I needed that fireplace. It will be worth it, but it did eat up 3 hours of renovation time. So we lost that last weekend, and then by the time we got home, it was like 5:30, 6, and I was like, I'm not getting into anything now. So hence why none of this was touched. So I might get around to some of it today. Let's see. But the main thing I want to get done today, obviously I need to get all that plaster off of here. Neil was here this morning and cracked on and got all of that alcove out, which is great. So I'm hoping to repeat the same over here. But the main thing I want to get done in here today is get the ceiling wallpaper down. This has been like hanging over me as I like close my eyes to sleep. This is what I see. This papered ceiling, because one, it's like, it's not easy work. You've got to reach up the whole time. Like you've got to really get on in there with it. My arms are going to ache. My shoulder joints are going to be shot by the end of this. Honestly, they're done. They're done in already. I can feel it. But because the paper's been painted over, it doesn't like come off in like one nice long strand. It comes off in little flecks. So like even though you steam it and it does help it lift, it just flakes off, flakes off, flakes off. So it's not like an easy, fun, like get a stripping knife under there and get it down. It's like fleck, 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 fleck for hours and hours and hours and hours. So let's have some fun with that. I mean, it's not going to be fun, let's be honest, but let's give that a go. And that's what I mainly want to get through today. If I get that done today, I'll be very, very happy. Anyway, enough chatting. Let's crack on. Right, I'm having a little lunchtime break now because that was hard work on the arms. That was such hard work on the arms, and I just need a rest. Oh, my Greggs is here. Yes. Obviously, another day, another Greggs. That's the doorbell going. Oh my God. Secured the bag. I love that this mask has left me like a dirt mark. And now I look like I've got a monobrow. Anyway, lunchtime, let's snack, and then we're going to crack on with the ceiling wallpaper. And I'm such a basic bitch, so of course I got chicken bake. Oh, she's toasty. I got a sugar strand donut because I'm a sugar girly at heart. And then I love any fizzy drink that is cherry flavoured. So Coke Zero, cherry, no sugar, yes please. That is my renovation fuel for today. Okay, Greg's inhaled. God, the pastry, the sugar, all that together. It's everything I need to give me a second wind to crack on with the next job in here, which is getting the wallpaper off the ceiling. Really not looking forward to this one. It's just the arms above the head constantly. Ache, ache, ache. It's going to be hard, but I want to get it done. I'm going to get through it today. And I'm glad that we made good headway with this wall. That's done. And all we need to do in here now is strip that wallpaper off the ceiling, and then we just need to take the skirt boards off, and then it's good to go. It's good for like all the stuff we need builders in to do, floors, plasterboard, electrics, etc. All of those plans are coming very soon. I'll share them with you. But that's a future me problem, because now I just need to crack on and get this done. It's going to be a long afternoon. Right, the steamer has run out of steam. I've just refilled it, and I thought, as it was reheating, I'd check in with you to tell you that this is one of the worst DIY tasks I've ever had to do, ever. I have been going at this for what, an hour? Yeah, about an hour, and like I've done, I'd say it's probably a quarter of the room. So I have got 2 to 3 more hours ahead of me of this, and my arms and back are aching so much. I have no core strength, and you need a lot of core strength to, like, you know, support your arms up there. I'm trying to like hold the steamer up with one arm, hold, like, scrape with the other arm. Oh, it's just horrible. It's a horrible job. I was very close to being like, do you know what? I can't do this myself. I'm going to give up. I'm going to pay someone to come in and do it. But then I was like, no, I'm started. I'm going to crack on. It's going to hurt my back. My back's going to be fucking shot tomorrow. But I've got the hours. I've got the time. Put in the graft, and it will be worth it. And the ceiling underneath, obviously a bit patchy where it's like a bit wet from the steamer. Ceiling underneath is fine. It needs a skim of plaster, but like it's not cracked. It's not falling in. It's really stable. I think it's, I don't know if it's the original Victorian plaster, but the plaster under there is grey, so it's maybe a different kind of plaster to what was on the walls, that like crumbly sort of rough looking plaster. This is really smooth, so it's clearly a different type of plaster. But whatever it is, I'm very happy with it, and I'm happy with what is going on underneath the paper, so that's a good sign. So I am going to continue and just try and get this done today, as much as like my body is going to hate me. I think the only answer is to crack on. What I'm finding really hard about it is the fact that it's lining paper on the ceiling that's been painted over. So lining paper is like just like a thicker wallpaper that if you've got dodgy, uneven walls, it's like a type of paper you put normally on your wall, or you can put it on your ceiling as they have here. It's just like a thicker sort of wallpaper you put on that you can then paint over or leave it as is, and it looks a lot smoother. It makes your walls look really smooth and stable and silky and nice, but it's actually paper. So in a lot of houses, if you've got a slightly dodgy wall, or a wall that's a bit bumpy, put some liner paper over it, you paint over it, and it kind of gives the illusion of like a nice freshly plastered wall. Or some people put it on first and then they wallpaper on top of the lining paper, so you've kind of got a smooth base, so your wallpaper on top doesn't show any like lumps and bumps that might be in your wall. So I see why they've put it on the ceiling, although the ceiling is really smooth, so I'm annoyed they haven't just like painted it. I'm annoyed that they did lining paper it, but it's probably because it's so old and they just thought that was an easy option. Anyway, I would not want to be wallpapering this ceiling ever. Can you imagine like getting up there with the wallpaper? Oh, horrible. And it's even worse, as I'm now finding, taking it down. Yeah, it's just the paint's flaking off. It's not coming off in like nice long bits. It's coming off in tiny little flecks. It takes even longer to hold the steamer up there because you're trying to get through several layers of paint. Like I think they've done several coats. So getting through all those layers of paint, then to the lining paper, and it's just like, you know, it clags up when the heat hits it and the steam hits it, gets wet, it kind of clags up, so you kind of really have to go at it. But I thought at one point the steamer wasn't the way to go. I turned it off and just tried to like scrape it off dry, but even worse, even harder. So I've kind of just learned the hard way. I've just got to crack on. I've just got to keep going with it. Anyway, this is not what I want to spend my Saturday afternoons doing, but when you choose a renovation life, this is what your Saturday afternoons look like for a bit, until it's done. And your Saturday afternoons are like lovely and pleasant and relaxing and enjoyable, and you're sitting in a nice room. I look forward to that phase. This phase, I do not look forward to so much, but we're going to get through it together. Kettle's nearly boiled, so let's get on. Let's get the rest of this paper down and let's see how long it takes. I thought I'd just take a moment to check in with you amongst the chaos. This visual, all of this, is for anyone who's ever come up to me and said, wow, renovating a house, that sounds so fun. That must be so fun. That's so cute. You must like have such fun, like painting and things. Look at it. Look at it. This is the reality of renovating a house. Not only have I got to spend like probably another 2 hours getting the wallpaper off the ceiling, the wallpaper I'm getting off the ceiling is now over the floor. And guess who's got to sweep that up? Guess. One guess. It's me, innit? It's me! Oh. This is what a project house means when people are like, it's a fixer-upper, it's a little project, that'll be fun. You get to put your stamp on it, you get to like do it to how you like it. And I'm like, yes, all of those things are sort of true. It is rewarding, you get to do it how you want to do it within reason, but this is like the punishment for the privilege. Yeah, this. And all these rubble bags in front of me, they are here at the moment, but they've got to be carried downstairs to go out in a skip. Guess who's got to do that? Guess who's got that fun job? Yeah. Anyway, shall we resume the ceiling? Yes, my arms and shoulders and back and neck and legs and everything hurts. Yes, I keep like getting boiling water from the steamer like running down my arms. I'm going to be a shell of a person by the end of this. I'm going to be a different person. I hope it's worth it. Let's carry on. Okay, it is 6 o'clock. I'm knackered, but we did it. We got all of the wallpaper off the ceiling. It is quite dark in here because it is 6 o'clock at night. It is dark outside, so I'll keep this brief, but it took me from 1:30 till about 6 p.m. to get this done. Thank God it's done, but I never want to do that again. That was probably one of the worst parts of reno I've ever had to do. Not like in terms of mess, just in terms of like how hard it was to get the paper off and how much my body hurts now. But we did it, so I'm proud of us. Neil came home like with an hour and a half to go from hockey and helped me out. He took over for a bit, which was good for me because I got a good little rest. But yeah, if we'd been two of us from the start, it might have been a bit more helpful. But to be honest, I've only got one steamer, I've only got one set of ladders, so I don't think it would have helped massively. We are in a good place now. I got most of what I wanted to get done today done, so we got all of the plaster off of the brickwork here. And considering I didn't think I was going to be stripping plaster, I thought I was just going to be stripping off wallpaper. So that threw a bit of a spanner in the works and added some time. So we got through that, and then I got through the main thing I wanted to get done, which was the ceiling. So that's good. Happy with that. But of course, we didn't even come close to touching the spare room. It is dark in here. So I am put the light on. So yeah, nowhere even close to getting this done. I think this is going to need a similar treatment to what next door needed. So I think all of the... Oh, who's meowing at me? Oh look, Atlas is here. Hello, sir. What are you meowing at? Okay. Is it dinner time? Okay, I'm coming down to feed you in a moment. But yes, in the spare room, I think these walls are going to need a similar treatment. I don't think the plaster behind this paper is going to survive. So I think next weekend, be back to the dust. Look at the state of me. I'm absolutely covered in like flecks of wallpaper and stuff. Next weekend, I think the plan is to come in here and probably strip the plaster off of these walls, of this fireplace, this alcoves, and then round here, hopefully just take off the wallpaper. Hopefully these walls are stable. I think they'll be all right. Although I'm not filled with much promise, to be honest. But one more weekend of fucking mess. And then got to take the fireplace and fireplace hearth out in here. And in the main bedroom, we've got to take the bricks out of the fireplace in here so we can get our beautiful new cast iron fireplace in that space. So I thought we'd be in a place where we were like wrapping up the strip out. I thought we'd be in a place where we were done with like the dusty and the mess and the graft, but no, turns out we're still very much there for a few more weeks. So lots more to come. Thank you for everyone who's watched any of my videos so far and watched this one. Please keep following along on here on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, wherever you want to find me. I'll be there sharing the ups and downs, trials and tribulations of this horrendous renovation project, which feels like it's never going to end at the moment. But hey, we move. See you soon.